Hi, Brenda Balance again. This time I'm going to show you a little bit about mixing paint. And we're going to start with tube paint from the Dollar Tree, dollar tube. And we're just using water on this one because it's very affordable. And probably what's going to take me the longest is get the paint out of the tube. We're not going to mix up a lot. This is a pretty empty tube. So, there's that. And then, can you see the consistency? We have to water that down. See how thick it is? It's not moving at all. So we're going to add a little bit of water. And you add the water slowly, because if you add too much water at a time, you can't take water out. And then we're going to mix it really good. We're going to whip it. Whip it good. And I want to thank my camera operator, who is also like one of my very, very best friends in the world, Linda Brigham, who's helping me.
Hello.
Hey, Linda, thank you.
No problem.
And see, I just made mistake number 1, which was added too much water. Luckily, I still have some paint in the tube. I have been working with Floetrol for quite a while now, and I think I'm getting used to that. And doing tube paint without the Floetrol threw me off a little bit. I think I added more like Floetrol amount. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Bear with me. Still too thick. There we go. This is much better. All right, can you see inside the cup? Now watch when it comes off the stick. First, it piles on top of the stick, and then when I tilt it, it runs off. And in the bottom, it makes just a tiny little mound, or no mound is fine, but a tiny mound will be fine too. So that's the consistency of about warm honey, and that's what you want. Now, we're also going to really quickly show you how I do it with Floetrol. I have lines put on my cup, one for Floetrol, one for paint, and I do it about 50-50. You want it to be pretty close to 50-50, and then you add water to get the consistency you need, but you never want more than a third water. 33% water is all you would ever want. 30% is better. And you should be able to get the consistency you need without over-watering your paint. So, I'm going to use this and pour right in here to that bottom line. You have to shake this first because it does get lumps in it. And I put this in first because it makes the paint not stick as bad to the inside of the cup. And then I take it out. I keep an extra cup to sit this in so it doesn't get everywhere. So I let it all come off. Then I put it on top of that cup. This is also from the Dollar Tree. They come in a 2-pack for $1. There's a smaller one for smaller size openings, and there's a bigger one for a bigger size cup. And the smaller one actually will also fit in the top of the Floetrol if you want to do it that way. Some people put a pantyhose or a knee-high over the top and put a rubber band around it and strain it straight from the jug. I prefer the strainer. That way I can take it off and clean it more easily. Now, this time I'm using the Apple Barrel Craft Paint. I keep looking at you and you can't see me. Okay, so I need some black paint. So let's just do that. The craft sticks are used. I wipe them off and let them dry, or I wash them off. And then I'm going to fill this until it's up to my second line. And it doesn't have to be exactly precise. You just want to get it close. I am not a chemist, so I can't give you any chemical reactions or anything like that. But I'll just tell you, this is what works for me. So, I have approximately 1/2 cup Floetrol, 1/2 cup paint. And then you stir and stir and stir. As you stir it, you can see the Floetrol take the pigment of the paint. There's the good thing about Floetrol, people always talk about how it's a conditioner and how it makes your paint smooth and creamy, which it does, which is wonderful. But they hardly ever mention that this costs under $16 most places. On Amazon, it's about $24, but if you got a hardware store close, you can get it a lot cheaper, under $16, or close to $16. And it made twice as much paint, because per ounce, this costs a lot more than this gallon does. So you save money doing this too. So don't look at it as, ooh, I don't want to waste the money on Floetrol. Look at it as, it's going to condition my paint, and it's going to double my paint. Now, some people actually only add 1/3 Floetrol and 2/3 paint. There's so many different ways you can do it. You can do 25% Floetrol and 75% paint. It doesn't make a huge difference to me to thin it down more, so I thin it down more. Save money, save paint. You got to make sure you scrape the sides, make sure you scrape the bottom, and when you got a good mix going on, then you try the same thing. See, I'm getting a little bit more of a pile than I want, a mound. So I'm going to add just a little water. And sometimes adding water actually makes it thicken. I don't know why, but to me it really seems like it does. Sorry about the paint all around and under my nails, but I forget my gloves sometimes. Usually mixing paint's not a problem. Now, see, I added water, and this is not mounding nearly as much. It's sitting pretty good on top of my stick and pouring off in one even flowing motion. So that's what you want. Now, these are 2 for $1 at Dollar Tree. They're ketchup and mustard containers, and they are perfect. Perfect for saving your paint. Ooh, that one had a nice slimy thing in it. I don't want that. Next time I make black paint, I will wash the bottle out. I'll soak it overnight in very hot soapy water, and then fill it with hot soapy water again and shake it until it's clean. And then I can add whatever color I want to it the next time. And then you just pour it right in. That's why I like to use a measuring cup for this. And these are great for putting paint on. And if I need to pour instead of squeeze bottling it out, I can always unscrew the cap and pour it into a cup and then do it that way. Another very important thing to painting once you've been doing it for a while and have moved up to Floetrol is a level. Trust me, if your table's not level, you're not going to have the picture you started out with. It will continue to move. So you need to make sure you're fairly level at least. Also, when you've moved up, you can use a heat gun or a blowtorch. I don't have a heat gun, I have a blowtorch. It works just fine. And the reason you want that is it gets the air bubbles out. And if you're using silicone, or if you're using a paint that has a semi-gloss finish, it will help create cells for you. Floetrol by itself with paint will also make cells, but not like if you had silicone. You're also going to get cells if you just do paint and water. For some reason, that creates a cell. So, there's my black. Here's this one. Before you use it, stir it again. Make sure it stayed the same consistency because sometimes they thicken up. But you want it to flow off nice and smooth. Sit on top. Flow off. If your paint's doing that, you've got a good mix. I learned everything I know from watching YouTube videos, but I know some people don't have access to YouTube. Or, as my friend pointed out, she said she didn't have access, but she does. She has just never used it and probably doesn't know how to use it. And I know that she is not alone out there. That there are people that don't know how to get that with their phone because they don't have a computer or not sure what they would even look at if they got on YouTube. So, and then make sure the lid's on really tight because if not, when you shake it, you're going to have black paint everywhere. And that is it for your paint mixing tutorial. I hope it helps you out. And if anybody saw anything that I did here that was wrong or can add to it, please feel free to comment. Thank you. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.